Guys, in today's video, I'm going to be rating the Pirates of the Caribbean movies from the worst to the best. Place is Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Men Tell No Tales. This movie, to me, it was just a kind of an add-on. I thought that they could have left the trilogy or the four movies as it was. The four original movies were fantastic, but I didn't really like this movie and where it fit into the story. The tragic death of Barbossa at the end. I didn't really like what they did with William Turner's son, and just this random girl that ends up being Barbossa's daughter that shows up. Just kind of random events that all they tried to fit into a story that just didn't really turn in to be a great story. And Jack Sparrow just was not really in much of the story. It was more Will's son and the daughter of Barbossa trying to solve this thing with the trident to get the curse off of Will Turner, who was barely in the movie. So overall, I thought just scattered pieces from over the course of time of different Pirates of the Caribbean movies really turned out to be a bad movie. This is Pirates of the Caribbean Outworlds, and to me this movie just had a couple too many characters, from South Fang's army to Davy Jones' army, who was controlled by the British people, and Jack Sparrow and Barbossa and his crew, who were kind of working to get Jack back, but in the end they didn't really want him back, because the second he got back, they didn't like him. There were just too many characters in this movie. However, I did like that Will Turner was the one to stab Davy Jones's heart instead of Jack Sparrow, because that just really would have been crushing, because everyone loves Jack, and to see such a funny character become the captain of the Flying Dutchman would have been sad. In fact, that Will was reunited with his father was great. But overall, just too many characters, too many different character meetings, and too many different battles that just never really came together. Place is going to be Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger's Tide. Now, I loved how they included Blackbeard in the story. Such a great villain, an iconic character with the sword that kind of controls the ship, and Queen Anne's Revenge is always an iconic ship. I liked how they kind of went into the past with Angelica and Jack. I thought that they could have gone deeper into the past with them. But overall, I enjoyed the movie, and I thought that Barbossa being a Kingsman and kind of working for the king wasn't a very good part, and how he was kind of for England, and the Spaniards were tied in trying to get to the Fountain of Youth. I did like the Fountain of Youth. I think it's a cool part of the story, but I also didn't like with the mermaid Serena. All they needed was a teardrop from her, and she ended up being one of the main characters of the story with this random pastor who believes in Jesus and has a crush on a mermaid. Second place as our runner-up is Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Man's Chest. Now, I thoroughly enjoy this movie because of so many iconic scenes with Jack Sparrow, from him breaking out of the casket at the very beginning and rowing with the dead man's arm, and then fighting on the wheel with the swords, the three of them on the spinning water wheel, and the classic scene where he's holding the jar of dirt, which doesn't really have the heart of Davy Jones on it.
Jar of dirt, I got a jar of dirt, and guess what's inside it?
I thought it was cool how Will went on to the and he was reunited with his father that he didn't know was at first, and how he wanted to make his father free, but really it couldn't be done because he was already messed up. And I thought it was awesome how they included the Kraken in the movie. It's an iconic enemy. It's a pirate. It's just something that every pirate movie should include. It just pursues you, and you got the black mark on your hand. I thought that was a cool addition to the movie and an awesome end with Jack's sacrifice. First place, the best Pirates of the Caribbean movie is Pirates of the Caribbean, The Curse of the Black Pearl. Now, I love this movie for many reasons. First reason is because this was the best movie with Barbossa. He was the best in this movie Out of all the movies that he was in, he was just the most iconic in this movie. From him eating the apples and the sword fight with Jack at the end. I love how he and Jack were kind of rivals the whole movie, and going back to who has the Black Pearl and who's in control of it and who's the captain of the ship. I thought that the two funny guys that added a little bit of comedy, Rigetti and Pintel, the guys with the one eye and the kind of the idiots of the movie, they added some great comedy. The love story between Elizabeth and Will Turner was pretty good, back and forth. But overall, the Aztec Gold thing was a cool addition, and how that kind of tied in with the Black Pearl. And in the end, the fight between Jack and Barbossa was definitely the best fight scene of the whole entire series. So that's it. Obviously, my list isn't everyone's list, but that is it for this video.